Visible out there.
And we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? Terrible day. Terrible day for both Ravens and Panthers fans. But I wanted this video to really focus on the Ravens because that one that just ended. We'll get to the Panthers. Don't you worry about that. But this game just ended. A complete disgrace. A complete disgrace. And this is on full display of how bad EDC and John Harbaugh have destroyed this team. We've been trying to warn you for years that the moves that they've been making have been terrible moves. That defense is there's nothing wrong with the defense. The defense is exactly how they built it. Okay, like yes, a lot of people went down during the game. They sucked before they got hurt.
That is the thing, right? Because okay, you talk about the defensive front was out, Namdi, and he's probably not going to play again this season. Brodny Washington's on IR. Travis Jones missed the game. Kyle Van Noy missed the game, and then Marlowe went down. Roquan went down, and Nate Wiggins got carted off. Well, what's up with carting people off for arm injuries now? That's happened a couple times, but whatever. Seeing it here and there. I'm not gonna say they shouldn't be, but I haven't seen that before. But like I said, y'all sucked before this. So y'all sucked with all those guys on the field. So it's not like, oh man, we were playing really well and then we lost a bunch of guys and now
this is why.
Yeah. You sucked before that, But hey, listen, this is something I told you before too. And it's because the Ravens defense sucked. Mm-hmm. Xavier Worthy coming back was going to transform that Chiefs offense. Right?
It did.
Because they have no answer for Duke. He didn't score, but he had 7 touches for 120 yards. That's stupid. Listen, I like Xavier Worthy. I'm a big fan of Xavier Worthy. He's not that good. He's not good enough to come back in his first action and do that.
There are plays where any other defense would have blown him up in the backfield, and he just running right by us for big gains. Again, it's more than just bad coaching. You have players that cannot tackle. That I put on the players.
That's a player thing.
But ultimately, EDC is the one that brought them in here.
I remember when Ravens fans were celebrating that veteran depth in Chidobe Awuzie. I saw him watch the receiver run into the end zone for a touchdown.
Hollywood Brown gave Hollywood Brown his first touchdown of the year.
Gave him a high five on the way by. That was cool. That was nice of him. But no, this is another embarrassing performance by the defense. But the first embarrassing performance by the offense. Lamar didn't have a good day. He had 2 turnovers. The offensive line, they lost Ronnie Stanley in this one. We'll see how serious that is, but they continue to not be able to block. They only gave the ball to Derrick Henry 8 times. And, Zay Flowers had a nice day. Rashad Bateman was invisible. And they couldn't get anything going. They got, like we were talking about before, when John goes up against these teams, John Harbaugh goes up against these teams, these top-level teams, they get thoroughly outcoached every time. Right. And they have talent, but so do the Chiefs. Lamar is not going to be the difference in a game where you're playing against a team that has Pat Mahomes. Right.
Yeah. So I want to say this real quick, man. I knew it. I knew they were going to file in here. We got 120 people in here. Hit that like button. If you're new in here, subscribe. We are trying to grow this channel. Spread the gospel. # defund the defense. Okay, we spent too much money on that side of the ball, and this is what they give us. All right. Yes, Danity. She says this is the first time I've physically seen Harbaugh lose the team. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Now I see people saying the season's over. The season is not over. B already predicted this part, right? I thought the Ravens were gonna show up today and win the game, but B said no, they're gonna lose. But win or lose, this game didn't really matter for the season, because the rest of the schedule is very favorable for this team.
Yeah, we got Houston, Rams. I mean, the Rams is a tough game, but Houston, Rams, Chicago, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, Jets, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, New England, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. There's a couple tough games on there, but they should win the overwhelming majority of the rest of their games.
Yes. Now, Lamar didn't finish the game. He said that it was a hamstring thing. I think he'll be okay long term. What's going on? My guy Shang is in the house. Man, make sure you guys subscribe to Film Gorilla. Says, bro, that offensive line didn't look good either. Oh yeah, we won't get to the offensive line.
He was an Eagles fan, right? He turned on that Raiders game. Was like, ugh, what's that?
Ew, brother, what's that? No, the season isn't over. Lamar Jackson, as long as he finishes out the season, he's going to ride that team behind him, and they're going to go on a run. They are going to go on a run. They're going to make the playoffs. So I'm not worried about that. Our concern has never been the playoffs. They're a playoff team. They are contenders. But when we get to the playoffs, we've played 3 good teams, and you saw how we coach against those teams. Because yes, Lamar had a bad game, but that was attributed to the worst play calling I've seen to date, even for Harbaugh and Monken.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry to interrupt, but we did get a cash app from Andrew. Thank you very much. He says, defund the defense. All caps and exclamation points, by the way.
That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes, man. Listen, hit up that Cash App, hit up the super chat, all that stuff. $ LBHT shows how you can do the Cash App. Also, the pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Stream Labs page. All right. Also, hit up our Patreon because we know.
No. We're not going to do this. Charm City Don. We have a team full of podcasters. We don't take podcaster slander in this room, sir. All right.
What are you trying to say?
You take that on down to the end of the bar. All right. My word.
So, but no. Like the play calling, there were too many times where it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and Derrick Henry's just out the game.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but he has recently developed a fumbling problem.
Listen, man,
you can't trust him.
Listen, you can't put somebody like Derrick Henry in the doghouse. You gotta trust your
dog mansion, but still.
It's funny, right? It's funny. You won't trust him because he had 2 fumbles, but you can let Falele 3 fumbles. I'm sorry. You can let Falele and Voorhees absolutely get your quarterback absolutely blown up.
0 turnovers
every game.
Between them.
Yeah, right. They're the cause of it. They're the cause of those turnovers.
But you know what we said last week as well. That return from Rasheen Ali made sure that Keaton Mitchell would still be inactive, even though they have shown that they need him. And then Rasheen Ali promptly dropped the kickoff, muffed it, and was stopped it with like the 19-yard line or whatever. Special teams was not good, as is normal for Baltimore, pretty normal for Baltimore, but. Yeah, they definitely need some change there. I saw some people arguing with, I believe it was Glenn Clark, talking about they need to fire John Harbaugh, and he's like, you can't fire him in week 4. Somebody's got to coach the team. And I'm like, yeah, man, like anybody can coach the team. If you're gonna lose to every good team you play,
who can't coach this team? Like he's not doing a good job coaching this team. What value does John Harbaugh bring to this team right now?
Nothing.
Right? Like it's not just because people like to focus on Lamar. Yes, he's the leader, and they're looking at his body language and they're saying, "Man, Lamar's checked out of the game." First of all, like I don't think he's checked out of these games. I think when things aren't going right, you get frustrated. Like Pat Mahomes does that when they're up 30.
Yeah.
Right. But the whole team looks like they're checked out. Like no blocking's going on. Defense isn't tackling, but when I see everybody on defense not tackling, missing tackles, that to me, like, what is that?
That's 100% a mental thing.
That's a mental thing. That's a mental thing.
And it's saying that, hey, you know what, we're not engaged the way we should be, because you should, like we said last week, there were 20 missed tackles in that game, right? Somebody was saying, yeah, you're gonna miss tackles here and there. There's a lot of great offensive players who force missed tackles. But not that many. You miss that many tackles, and it's because you are just not locked in.
Yeah. So, man, we're close to a record here. We have about 240 people in this chat, hit the like. If you're new in here, subscribe. All right. We also do a live show on Wednesdays at 7:40 or 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. All right. We cover Ravens and Panthers over here, but this is going to be focusing on the Ravens.
We did get another cash out. Thank you very much. This one's from Yellow Spagello. Love you, boys. If the other coach is better, we lose. That's it. 95% of the time.
That's it.
You know, they out talent most teams in the league.
Hey,
and that's why they get around 10, 12, 13 wins a year. But there's a few elite coaches that they can't compete with.
Facts. And we got another super chat from Kevin. Hey, appreciate you, Kevin, man. Says defense is spoiled like Cambodian goat milk from the Himalayas.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, Nitro's in the house. What's up, Nitro? Says all of you that are not okay with the defense are bad fans and are absolutely spoiled. Yeah, I was gonna do a video on that, but I like Kyle Hamilton. I didn't want to go in on Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is trying to be a team guy. He's trying to stand up for his coach. But sometimes you don't have to say anything, right? You don't have to. You can just say, "Hey, we believe in our coach," and leave it at that. You don't have to go at fans. Fans are not being unreasonable. And honestly, like I think is Rich coming from a crappy defense saying, "Hey, you guys are spoiled." What do you know about that? Right? You're talking like you guys have been good forever. You've never been that defense.
Like I don't want to hold that against him too much. He's a very young player, and like I said, he was trying to pick up his coaches and teammates and everything. But he misspoke. He should not. He chose his words poorly. He should not have said what he said. But I'm not gonna hold him to that too much. I think he was trying to do the right thing and all that, but you just got to go play better. That's really the only solution here. There's no talking your way out of this.
And we got another super chat. We should have called Adelia for this show. I appreciate the support. I wasn't expecting this much. Appreciate it for Donovan. Go ahead and read that, V.
Geriatric John needs to be stripped of his power. He is a parasite. Yet he's coddled by his best friends in the front office. No more word salad. No more word salads. Get this guy out now. Please, EDC, I'm begging you. EDC, one of his friends in the front office, though, man.
He's in the thumbnail too. I put both of them in the thumbnail. Anytime we have these type of losses, I put both of them in the thumbnail to remind Ravens Nation they are the ultimate problem. Eric DeCosta is a problem as well, right? I even bookmarked. I'm going to retweet. I bookmarked the old clip that I tweeted out a while back, talking about how bad John Harbaugh and EDC were, and people were hating on that. I understand Harbaugh, but what you got against EDC? Well, now you know. All these players that you complain about, like you complain about all these players, he handpicked them. Mm-hmm. They didn't come from nowhere. He didn't just wake up one day and say, wait, where are the guys that I drafted and signed? Why are these guys out here replacing the guys that I drafted and signed? No, he drafted all these guys. He signed all of these guys. This is a team that he built. This is a team that you're complaining about.
And we did get another donation from our good friend Shug. I do not see a message with it, Shug. So if you had something, go ahead and put it in the chat. But thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Listen, soft. Yeah. On defense, absolutely soft. So we talked about before we came on air, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, there were. Lamar had 2 turnovers. We had some turnovers on downs, mm-hmm. and you can say, hey, that attributed to some of the scoring going on, right?
Oh, Shug says #fund the defense. Steelers fans loving what they're seeing out there on the defensive side of the ball from the Baltimore Ravens.
I just want to say this too, because Shug does this like clockwork every year. They always start out this way. The Steelers always start out this way, and then by the end of the year, it's not so funny anymore. But yes, Lamar had a pretty bad game. Mm-hmm. Couldn't get into rhythm, and the interception. Listen, man, that's what you get for trusting Mark Andrews on a 1-on-1 ball, right? I mean, let's just call it what it is. That's what you get for trusting him on a 1-on-1 ball. He's not going to ever make a play on it. He's always going to fall down, and give the other guy a chance to intercept it. I've never seen him just snatch the ball from somebody.
That's not really ever been his game. He was more athletic, obviously, when he first came into the league, but he's never been that contested catch. Just throw it up, I'm gonna go get it, guy. We did get another super chat here from Ayo Pons. Thank you very much. He said, "Did all these defensive players fall to the Ravens, or did the other team see them as role players and not playmakers?" Exactly.
Well, it's a good thing you brought that up, because I just want to say, look, you guys are down on everything that's going on, but I'm just so grateful that we drafted Malachi Starks in the first round. Aren't you guys grateful that we drafted Malachi Starks in the first
round? Well, because when Marlon went down and Nate Wiggins went down, Malachi was still out there. Mm-hmm. And Mike Green was still out there, and Teddy Buchanan, he was still out there getting the snaps that he gets, and they were making plays. They were making plays all over the field.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys something. When Ed Reed was out there at safety, who were you leaning on at cornerback? Right? Like, who was a cornerback out there that you're like, oh man, we missed him. Now we're cooked. Like, apparently, supposedly we were supposed to have 2 Ed Reeds out there now.
Yeah, because I remember last week, I forget who made the comment, and I do apologize, but they said when Ed Reed was playing, he made Frank Walker look like a good starting corner.
Yes.
But like I said, though, I mean, those guys were out there making their plays, and Pat Mahomes will forever rue the day that he let go of the ball and tested Malachi Starks in that secondary. Right? That's what happened, right? Or was Hollywood Brown scoring touchdowns on you and Juju Smith-Schuster like it's 2021?
Malachi is solid. I think so. I think Malachi is going to be a good player. Don't get me wrong when I'm criticizing the pick. I'm not criticizing the player, but you don't draft solid that high in the first round. You're drafting guys that can be playmakers. That's why we drafted him, to be a playmaker. You drafted him over actual needs. We needed O-line and or D-line, right?
Mm-hmm.
We said that in the draft. We said go O-line. That has to be the number one priority. If you're not going O-line, you have to go D-line because there's not enough depth, right? And now we're seeing it. But if you go safety again, then he has to truly be a special player. He has to be a guy that can be a game changer.
And that's how he was sold. That's how he was sold as, hey, we need these guys to come in here and make plays, force turnovers, him and Mike Green, right? Because Mike Green was a top 10 type player. And he was going to come in here and he was going to cause havoc for quarterbacks. Neither one of those things is happening. You could say that Malachi Starks is a solid player, and that's fine. But every time you've played a team with a functioning offense, you've given up over 30.
I mean, even if you take out, like B said, even if you take out all of the turnovers, they still gave up 20 points.
Right. It's still bad. It's still very, very not good. Thank you very much. Pay the bills. There's nothing like watching a team quit on itself. Reflection of leadership. Good to see Sloquan on the sideline. That's not nice. We don't want to see people get hurt over here.
No, not at all.
But thank you very much. Pay the bills. Yeah, everybody loves that quote from Remember the Titans. Attitude reflect leadership until it applies to their team.
Yeah.
then there's all sorts of defending the coach and the GM and everything, and it's on the players, not the leaders.
Don't let anybody tell you. This is the same thing when we used to say get Giro out of here, and people would be like, "Well, who are you gonna replace Giro with?" Literally anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we did a video years ago, and somebody asked, "Well, if you fire Harbaugh, who can you replace him with?" And we gave like 7 names.
Yeah.
I mean, so a little bit of research, light Googling, and we came up with 7 names.
Since we've started doing this show, at least 3 teams, I want to say, have hired a new coach who has won them a Super Bowl. The Eagles did with Nick Sirianni. Who was the other one? I can't remember now. Why can't I can't remember the name?
What? For Tampa?
No, not Tampa. I can't remember now. Mm-hmm.
So since Harbaugh has been in the league,
Since we started doing the show, there's been a few teams. Yeah.
So you had the Tampa's coach that was
Bruce Arians. I couldn't remember if he'd been fired, if he'd been hired within that same time frame.
That's Bruce Arians. And then you had Sirianni got there twice. He won one. You had Andy Reid.
And I was gonna say, I think
McVay.
Well, I was gonna say, did Doug Peterson get hired after we started doing this as well? Or was he before?
He did get hired by the Jaguars, but
I mean by Philly, but I couldn't remember if it was before that or not.
Yeah.
And then you also had Dan Campbell get hired, who went 15-2 last year. You know, it's the team that went to the NFC Championship game and lost to Philly hired their coach last year. Like, there's a lot of guys you can go hire. There's plenty of coaches. No shortage of coaches.
Yeah,
you can go out and get them.
There's nothing special about Harbaugh. And listen, this not even me. I'm crapping on Harbaugh because he's still here, right? I don't think he's a terrible coach, but he has run his course. And this is what you have to do. This is what happens when a coach has been with the team for too long and you don't produce Super Bowls. You don't produce wins. That message gets stale in the locker room. And once it gets stale, you have to move on from them. You need a new voice in there. And this is the same thing that happened with Andy Reid. Andy Reid was very successful, got to 4 straight NFC championships, got to a Super Bowl, didn't quite get there, and his voice got stale in Philly, and he had to move on. But he's thriving in Kansas City. Philly's also thriving. But this is supposed to be a business. You're supposed to be about winning. And when your window is open, you need to do what it takes to win a Super Bowl. And this front office ain't doing that. And I still put it on EDC because even though they can say, oh, well, he can't make that decision. Well, then why are you in that position, man? Right. EDC had every team looking for a GM calling him to interview, and he turned out all of them to stay with the Ravens. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to do that, you need to establish that I get to make those decisions when the time comes. I get to decide if I want the coach to stay or go, right? I get to decide if we pay our quarterback or not. Like I get to make these decisions, and you can't get in my way, Steve Bisciotti. Right. And if he does, you say, okay, I need to move on because there are other teams that give me more control than that. All right, B, I think we hit a record. We had 300 people in here, 301. All right, that's a new record. Appreciate y'all, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, if it's your first time in here, and you got to get it off your chest, and you're like, thank you for speaking the truth. Subscribe, share with your friends and loved ones. Also, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow for the overtime show. Man, it's a great show that we do after our Wednesday show. Also, you get access to our Discord channel and all kinds of perks over there. So check it out. Also, we got a website, LBHTShow.com. We got merch. We got a newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. All kinds of stuff. Well worth your time to go check it out. All right. So who's next week for the Ravens?
Next week is, let me pull this up real quick here. Next week is a very winnable game. I want to say it's the Texans, but let me make sure. It is Houston, at home.
Okay. Houston is also
1-3. I guess we should stop calling these like winnable games when they have the same record as you. But I feel like they should, because the biggest problem in Houston is they still can't really block, and CJ Stroud is really struggling as a result. But y'all can't pressure, so maybe that fixes itself for them next week. Like Baltimore is the get right team right now. I mean, one of them. Carolina's also one, unless you're the Falcons.
The way this defense looks, man, like I see it in the chat. Somebody says Zach Orr needs to go. The problem is so much bigger than Zach Orr, right? The fact that he wasn't already replaced is that's a sign of the head coach. I respect the fact that you want to be loyal to your friends. I do respect that about John Harbaugh. Always respected that. But he has bad friends when it comes to coaching, right? Some people have their teachers, like Andy Reid knows the game and he could teach it to his people, and they can go on to have good careers. John Harbaugh doesn't know the game like that. He can't teach it to other people, and he's got friends that have been coaching along with him, and that he's worked with, and he's like, okay, I can trust this person, and this person come in and do a good job, but they can't do a good job. Martin Morningwood isn't a good coach. Cam Cameron isn't a good coach. G-Row isn't a good coach. Like he keeps bringing in these people that he knows and trusting them, and they're not good at their jobs. And when they're not good at their jobs, it's only unless his back is truly against the wall, like Cam Cameron, where it's like, hey, bro, we're gonna fire you next week. And he's like, all right, Cam, you got to go.
Yeah,
get out of here, right? So that's his problem. He has bad friends, and look, man, you can't rely on anybody, and you can't coach yourself. It is time to leave. We are trying to win a Super Bowl here in Baltimore. This team has talent. That defense isn't talent-wise isn't that bad.
No.
Talent-wise, they're not that bad. They look god-awful out there.
Mm-hmm. Talent-wise, they're probably the best in the league. And they should be playing. They're definitely the best secondary in the league talent-wise. But they are playing like they have no idea what's going on the field in front of them. They can't cover. They can't stop the run. And you can even take a pass for injury for stopping the run this week, without Washington and Nnamdi and Travis Jones. But y'all suck stopping the run before this. So, it is what it is. There's plenty of talent there. It is a coaching issue. And like I said, it's a coaching issue on the other side of the ball as well. Because when you can't just out-talent the other team, then things fall apart for that offense, just like they do on the defense.
And again, let's just break down this game. Yes, Lamar Jackson, I didn't see his final stat, but he had one pick. He had a touchdown, he had a pick, he had a fumble, right? Mm-hmm. The fumble, it sucked. Linderbaum, knocked it out of his hands. Linderbaum was just trying to block somebody. Those things happen. The interception, he threw it to Mark Andrews on a 1-on-1, and Mark Andrews, did the falling down thing and didn't really go for the ball. Sucks. But Lamar had a lot of hits, hurries, sacks, just a lot of plays where things would stall out. But I want to talk about the situational coaching. This is what it comes down to.
Yeah, sacked 3 times and hit 8 times.
Like, I saw somebody say that he can't handle the blitz. Who can handle getting hit that many times?
Right. That it's funny when people say that, right? Because statistically, Lamar is the best quarterback in the league against the blitz, right?
Yes.
Statistically, Lamar is the best passer in the league and has been for the last couple of years.
He gets blitzed more than anybody else.
Right. But again, he's the best passer in the league, has been for the last couple of years. But yes, when you're getting hurried constantly, when you're getting hit a lot, when you're getting sacked a lot, everybody breaks down. If that weren't the case, why would you think that edge rushers are so valuable? Why do edge rushers get paid over $40 million a year at the top end if they can't disrupt elite quarterbacks? That is the entire point of having those guys. That's why y'all want one of those guys. Every time we come on here, it's, oh man, we can't rush the passer, can't rush the passer, can't rush the passer. Yeah, rushing the passer is essential in stopping modern offenses, right? Yeah. And so when you roll out there with Daniel Falalele, you roll out there with Tyler Linderbaum, when your answer to somebody getting hurt in game at left tackle is Joseph Noteboom, your offense is going to struggle. Your quarterback is going to struggle regardless of who it is, right? The thing is, you're supposed to, both sides of the ball are supposed to be able to lean on one another, right?
Yes.
So through the first 3 weeks when the offense put up 40, 41, and 30, they should have been able to lean on the defense to get a couple of stops and win all 3 of those games. They only won 1 of them, right? Now, when the offense is struggling, when Lamar turns it over a couple times, when they can't really get anything going, you should be able to lean on that defense to hold the other offense in check, but they can't do that either.
If the defense showed up just a little bit at all this season, this would have been our first loss.
Yeah, this Chiefs team, people remember when Tyreek Hill was there. And that's what they think of when they think of Kansas City. They think of when Tyreek Hill was there and Travis Kelce was still in his prime and Pat Mahomes threw 50 touchdowns and nobody could stop them, right? We had somebody commenting on our video talking about how a couple of years ago this defense, they held Kansas City to 17 points. That's a win. That Kansas City team averaged 22 points a game. Like, that's not any kind of special performance. This Kansas City team scored 17, 21, and 22 in the first 3 weeks. They're not good on offense. And look, I said that Xavier Worthy coming back would help unlock them and they would play better. But you shouldn't be going from 22 to 37 against one of the most talented defenses in the league because Xavier Worthy is back.
Right. Tracy's here, B. What's up, Tracy? Says John Harbaugh just said he wasn't happy with the Ravens play calling on offense. I love how he just those people under the bus. What in the world is he the head coach? Why in the world is he the head coach? Why not make him change plays in? Yes. Also, I knew he would get my QB hurt. That's exactly it. Like, when it's third because it happened a few times. It happened a few times in this game. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and Derrick Henry's on the sideline. Why aren't you saying no? Put Derrick Henry in.
Well, yeah. Look, and famously, when he got criticized by fans, it was y'all are the guy at the end of the bar. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything about coaching in the NFL, blah, 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 blah. But when it's the media and when he's getting heat from within the building, John Harbaugh turns himself into the guy at the end of the bar. There's no accountability. He doesn't even know what happened out there, right? It's, oh, man, so-and-so only had three carries. I got to look into that. How'd that happen? I don't know, John. You were on the sideline. It's your team, right? It's your offense. It's your defense. Why don't you know what's going on?
Because he's a snake. John Harbaugh is a snake. He lies when he doesn't need to lie. He lies about injuries, right? He lies about, what's going on with the play calling and the strategy. 8 carries for Derrick Henry today. 8 carries. I'm not even sure what he had at halftime. I think 4, But why didn't you go into the half and say, what the hell are we doing? I don't care what it takes. You get Derrick Henry the ball. Mm-hmm. We were only down 10 points at halftime.
Yeah.
And, of course, they went right downfield and scored a touchdown. But still, why are we panicking? Like, even in the first half, we were at one point, we were down 13 points and it felt like the game was over then. Why are we panicking? Why are we abandoning the run? Run the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Run the ball, establish the run, slow it down, score some points, keep it close. Like why are you trying to, like, they're always trying to, they outcoach themselves a lot of times. 3rd and 1, we can run with Derrick Henry, especially if we're going to go for it on 4th down, run it twice with Derrick Henry, right? But no, let's take Derrick Henry off the field and they'll never see what's coming, B.
Yeah. And hold on one second, we did get another cash app. This one's from Tracy. Thank you very much. And it says sick and tired. It's like we've talked about for years. John Harbaugh does not believe in running the ball and playing defense. That's not what he believes in. He believes in essentially having excuses is what his thing is. That's what he believes in. Because if the game gets away from you and you don't give the ball to the running back and your quarterback's getting hit a lot, he can be like, man, I don't know what happened out there. The players need to execute. I don't know what happened with the play calling. I don't know why so-and-so didn't get as many carries, blah, blah, blah. It's never, you know what? Let's get the best running back we can find. Let's get the best O-line we can find, and let's run the ball no matter what. Right? He doesn't want to do that because that's not what he believes in, but he can't go the other way either. He can't go out and say, hey, we're going to protect the quarterback. We're going to get the best pass blockers we can find. We're going to get the best wide receivers we can find. We're going to get the best receiving tight end we can find. We're going to get the best modern offensive coordinator we can find. And we're just going to put up a whole bunch of points and dare you to stop us. He can't do that because he doesn't want those expectations. Right. If you go out there, if Baltimore had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, we have to talk about this all the time with, because Cincinnati got to a Super Bowl without an O-line, essentially, with those guys. If Baltimore had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, the expectation would be that they had won multiple Super Bowls by now, right?
Yes.
And had they not, he wouldn't be able to explain it, and he wouldn't have a job. So he likes to hamstring the offense, and then be like, "Hey, man, I mean, it is what it is. You know, those guys are talented. We didn't execute because we're not very good, and it got away from us." Yeah, it's
See,
supposed
this
to get away from you when Daniel Falele and Voorhees are starting at guard, and Rashad Bateman's out there catching one pass again, right? It's always going to get away from you against elite teams. Like, they're too afraid to try and make themselves one of those elite teams because then there's no excuses for when they fall on their face like they do every single year.
Yeah. Cartier US, you better be careful. All right. Danny's watching you. Nobody's making excuses over here. We're calling it how it is. All right. Let me guess, if Harbaugh had a QB and a running back, he would be undefeated. He has a QB and a running back. Listen, look, Danny, get this clown out of here. Get this clown out of here. Like you're not providing anything to this conversation. But listen, they know what they're doing. Right? They know what they're doing. They know, if, like B said, if you get talent on this team, there is a higher expectation to win. And when you don't win, those are the answers that you can't, those are the questions that you can't answer. It's more pressure on you. You could lose your job. But if you just walk that thin line, like, hey, well, we don't have this, or hey, we're developing these guys, or hey, next year. If you can always say next year, you know, you can keep fans for the most part. Okay, you can keep your owner okay because you're competing. You're not winning, but you're competing. And it always looks like next year could be the year.
Mm-hmm.
But next year never comes.
Yeah. And we need to get another super chat from A.O. Fonz. Thank you very much. He said, Harbaugh literally said last year when we didn't run Henry in a bad loss was because we didn't get around to it. Like it's just a to-do list.
Yeah.
And he just ran out of time.
Right. Not Big Cuzzo. Don't get rid of Big Cuzzo. Get rid of the other one. Big Cuzzo, he's our guy. I got you, Big Cuzzo. I got you. Cartier. Yeah. Cartier gotta go. Big Cuzzo can stay. And he said, that's just for looking at me. Yes, Ferris. Daddy, Big Cuzzo's with us. It's all good. We appreciate you. Yes, Lamar's not the issue. Everybody knows Lamar's not the issue. People that are blaming Lamar, that's just people that want to take shots at Lamar. Okay, everybody has bad games. Every single quarterback has bad games, but the top quarterbacks, when they have bad games, they can still win the game. Josh Allen had a bad game a couple weeks ago. Y'all didn't know because they blew the team out. He didn't play well. He had a bad game today. Right? They still won because he has a good team. If Lamar doesn't make every right decision, every right pass, every big play, we don't win the game.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you guys turned off after Lamar Jackson went out the game? All right. Yeah. The minute anybody else comes in there, it's a wrap. It's like you don't even want to see what happened after that.
No. Because you know that you can't win without him. There's no real offense without Lamar. Yeah. But I am interested to know where the defense wins games people are.
You know what? I'm going to do a poll. Let's do a poll here. That's what you want to ask? Does defense still win games?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, when we always hear that, like, defense wins championships, defense wins games and all that, but when the offense doesn't play well, I don't ever see the defense winning the game in Baltimore.
Well, before we ask that, I want to ask the chat, is EDC cooking? That's what I want to ask. Is EDC cooking? We talk about Harbaugh all the time, but there's still some EDC defenders out there.
Network says, dude, we have a good team. Your team is 1-3. Yeah, I hate to go all the way back to Bill Parcells. I'm sure some people in here don't even know who that is. But you are what your record says you are. Now, they can turn things around, but right now they are not a good team. They're a team that gives up 30 points every time they see a competent offense.
Yeah. He's making cereal right now. He ain't cooking. Yeah. I mean, was that good today? Like, how do you look at these games that we lost and say we're a good team? Like this team that we played today, they weren't great. No. And they would tell you that they're not where they want to be. What did we do today to say, man, this is a good team?
He says it's coaching. Network cover Ben. Yes, that's what we're saying. It's coaching, but coaching is part of your team.
Yeah,
coaching is not. It's not something that is divorced from the rest of the team. Yeah, you have talented players. You don't have a good team. There's a difference between having talented players and having a good team.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, never let anybody out there. Don't let the gatekeepers out there. Don't let the defenders, the EDC and Harbaugh defenders. Don't let these people right here tell you. Don't let these people right here tell you that everything is fine. Don't let them tell you that Harbaugh's a great coach, EDC is a great GM, and the players got to do their part, or Lamar's got to play better. Don't let those people out there tell you that they're doing the right thing. They are not. Okay. You didn't have an O-line last year. They admitted that. That's what Eric DeCosta said last year, that the O-line isn't where they need to be, but next year they will be. He said that. Okay. And then went into the offseason and did nothing. He did nothing. They just assumed that Daniel Falele, who was bad last year, was going to get better. And I can even halfway, follow them on that, because you see the potential with Falele, right? You figure, okay, he's going to develop, but you didn't give him any competition. Andrew Voorhees did absolutely nothing. No audio.
No audio. Is anybody else having problems with the audio? Let us know in the chat if you can hear us.
Yeah. That might be you, Cuzzo. Might be you. Give me a thumbs up if you guys hear us. Okay. All right. Cuzzo, you might have to turn the volume up on your phone or whatever. But
that was as funny. Before the season started, we were going to the Super Bowl. So is Carolina. Everybody's going to the Super Bowl in the offseason, bro. Like that's what the offseason's for. And like I don't begrudge anybody that in the offseason. Like, you make your moves and you get the hope train going, because how else are you going to make it to week 18 when you root for one of the worst teams in the NFL if you don't get that hope train going early in the offseason? You got to pick up momentum to crash through these sadness walls, these depression walls, right? I mean, Panthers just went out there and got 42 unanswered points dropped on them by the New England Patriots.
Oh, you say no audio for the press conference. Gotcha.
Okay.
Got you. I wonder why.
What a coincidence. John was like, "Yeah, I'm not getting your questions. I'm going to get the IT guys in here. They'll take care of that, and then I'll see you next week."
Yeah, but Voorhees, back to Voorhees. Voorhees is somebody, and yes, like Josh is saying, what's up, Josh? Says Voorhees, I think, missed a big block on Henry's screen. We had them, should have been like 40 yards, but that's what I'm saying. Voorhees was given a job that he couldn't win last year, right? And it's just this hope, this belief that these guys will get better. This is what your coaching staff and your GM has put together with this team. We are going to project what these guys will do the following year. And yes, there is always a little bit of that. You always hope that the guys that you bring in develop and you feel good about certain guys, but they didn't do well enough to get into the game. Well, at least for Voorhees, he didn't do well enough to get into the game, and you just give him the starting job. He had no competition this offseason. Right. Like, he had no competition last offseason when they tried to make him the starter.
Well, he did. He did. He lost.
Well, yes. No. He started.
No, actually, he did, and then he got hurt. Hurt. But it's true on the other side as well, right? Because they pegged Daniel Falele as a starting offensive lineman for the Baltimore Ravens when he was 16.
Yes.
And they just been holding on to that one in their back pocket again. Like I believe it was Aofon said, is every great player falling to the Ravens every single year in the draft, like draft Twitter will tell you, or are they just drafting guys who are average players, who the draft Twitter guys just love?
Speaking of, Kill Cam is a good point. They had Mike Green as a middle linebacker today. OMG, right? Yes, because they're trying to figure out. It's more than just injuries. Yes, players got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sucks. But even with players healthy, missed tackles, out of position, and is Zach Orr trying to figure out how to get them going. And he needs help. He needs guidance. He's not ready to be a defensive coordinator. And the guys that are brought in, the veteran that's supposed to be helping him out, Chuck Pagano, has been out of football for years.
Yeah.
And he wasn't good on his way out. That's why he was out. Right. But he's Harbaugh's friend. So that's why he's there. And what are you doing? Right? These guys don't know what to do. Like, you got Marlon Humphrey, who's a veteran on the team, saying, "Man, I don't know what's going on out there. I can't call it." Right? You have to go and get people that know what they're doing. So, listen, I'm not, I don't want to say the F word when it comes to black coaches, but Zach Orr should not be in that position anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. And they have to get serious about finding somebody that can replace him, and it needs to be somebody not tied to Harbaugh. If Eric DeCosta is serious about salvaging this season and trying to make a Super Bowl run, because you still can, you have to have a talk with Harbaugh and say, "Hey, we gotta shake this up. The staff is going to go through some changes, and we're not bringing in your guys. We're going to go through, we're going to vet. I'm going to take your input, and I'm going to have the final say on it, not you." Who I look at? What's his name? Steve Wilkes.
Mm-hmm.
That's somebody I would look at because he's out there in the street right now, I think.
No, he's not. He has a job. He's with the Jets. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't bring in Wilkes either. You gotta. It's funny because they identified the guy and they hired the guy, and we were wrong about it. We said, "Hey, don't hire this guy. Give it to one of the longtime assistants who are on staff with the Ravens." But they hired Mike McDonald, and that was the right.
I'm talking about right now.
I know. I'm saying, but that was the right hire. You made the hire, and then you let him go. So good luck finding another one. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, but you don't want to say the F word for black coaches. I understand. I will say, let's wish him success elsewhere.
Yes. Yeah. We wish you a bright future elsewhere. Yeah. Sour Grape says, what are you talking about? EDC is a Harbaugh guy. Sour Grapes, let me tell you the history of EDC and John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh was not EDC's guy. In fact, there was that talk for years around here. This is pre Lamar Jackson. This was still in a Flacco era that EDC and Harbaugh did not really like each other. EDC had been the GM in waiting for a long time. He had gotten requests. The Ravens had gotten requests to interview EDC from multiple teams. The Jets were one of them. I think the Dolphins. A lot of teams wanted to poach EDC from us, and he turned down all those interviews. He stayed here. He wanted to just wait it out until Ozzie retired. And the assumption around here was that when Eric DeCosta took over the team, Harbaugh was going to be fired. And it looked that way when we drafted Lamar because we got off to a bad start. And the talk was after the next loss, Harbaugh was going to get fired. And the players even confirmed it recently when they were talking about it on a podcast that they all were 1 week away from getting fired. And then he started Lamar Jackson and the rest is history. Harbaugh is not, that's not EDC's guy, not historically anyway. Now, maybe Harbaugh's got a little more pull now, and it's a little bit hard to get rid of him. But if I'm Eric DeCosta, I'm telling Steve Bisciotti, hey, man, it's time. And if you're not going to let me make any decisions around here, I need to go. So,
yeah. I don't know. It was an ugly loss. And it's crazy because through the first couple of games, first few weeks, the games were close, and it was like, oh man, look, if we can right the ship on the defensive side, we're great and blah blah blah. But man, seeing what they look like when the offense doesn't bring their A or at least their B game is scary, right?
Yeah.
Because they had 13 points when Lamar went out. Justice Hill, God bless him, he broke off a 70-yard touchdown run late in the game to get us to 20 to make it somewhat respectable, but they got their ass kicked all up and down that field.
Yeah.
It was not good. And man, we kind of shook our head at Rashad Bateman for taking that contract extension and undervaluing himself. And said, hey, but you know what? It was a great move for the Ravens. I think we were wrong on both counts. Rashad Bateman valued himself absolutely correct.
Appropriately.
and the Ravens got fleeced. All right. Because,
This is also false too. We do not need to get John Gruden.
No. John Gruden was on. The only reason that John Gruden wasn't fired before everybody found out he was a racist is because the Raiders owner couldn't afford to fire him. He just didn't have the money to buy him out.
Right.
He was on his way out even then. He is not the guy you want.
So right now, okay, barring any surprise move when they fire John Harbaugh midseason, I think it has to get a little bit worse than what we're at right now to fire John Harbaugh. But yes, I better take Brian Flores too, Jared Green. But Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator of the Vikings. I'm talking about right now. Like, there has to be a move right now to get Zach Orr out of there. Like, he just can't do it, right? The defense is not responding to him.
Yeah,
it's not. It's more than just out of position. It's the missed tackles. Like, I'm seeing Roquan just arm tackling people out there, right? They're not playing inspired football. They don't believe in him. So for now, like, again, I hate to say it, but like, they have to replace him with somebody with some more experience, somebody that can, at the very least, inspire the defense a little bit more. Who can they go out there and get? I mean, I don't know. Nobody on this staff.
Does anybody owe John a favor?
Yeah.
Call him Marvin Lewis. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Adrian. He says NBA season starts next month at least.
Hey, appreciate it. And but that's what chat. I think
he's a Brooklyn fan.
Yeah. Look, we're still building. We're still building.
Sure.
We hit our goal, hit our super chat goal. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
But we already hit it. I count the donations from Cash App and the Streamlabs as well. So really appreciate you guys. Look, still over 200 people in here, 250 people in here. Hit the like button if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. I'm a Ravens fan. B's a Panthers fan. We didn't get to the Panthers today, but we're gonna go all in on it because they had a very rough day
I'll
well.
I'll give you some Panthers right now. Frauds, a lot of them.
We're gonna break down a little more than that. Really bad outing for the Panthers. And you know what's funny? Their game, both of our games started out the exact same way. First drive, easy money. We're like, oh,
it's crazy because the Panthers will go out there and they will look like they've never even seen a football the first couple of drives, and then they'll turn things around. Today, everything worked on the first drive, and then they were like, the game's not over. But why are y'all still? Why is Travion Henderson running into the end zone? What's going on? Why is Drake May doing the Superman?
Because we have Panthers fans on the channel. That's
why. Suge, I know you're enjoying this, and you're making little jokes, but I'll tell you something. You take this talk a lot more personally than I do, and I'm gonna make you cry when the Steelers lose their next game. You're gonna be very upset. You're going to be
Suge's our guy, man.
Extremely upset.
Suge's a Steelers fan, allegedly. I never see him in any Steelers stream or anything like that. But he's in all the Ravens streams.
He has a Raven show though.
He does have a Ravens show. And we got another super chat. Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you. Since people are really trying to say Lamar gave up, like the O-line didn't give up on him. What is he supposed to do? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jared. Like, what is he supposed to do out there? You're trying to run any play, and he doesn't even have time. if it God forbid it's a play action, right? They damn near taking the ball from him. What is he supposed to do? Nobody's getting open, and I just figured this out too. It's not even all on the receivers that they can't get open. The plays are just drawn out for too long. They're long, drawn up plays. They take time to develop, and we don't have the O-line to be running those type of plays. Where are the quick passes? Like I saw Kansas City do it. I saw Kansas City had some quick passes to get the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands really fast. I didn't see any plays like that all year for Lamar Jackson. Why are we developing these plays that take 7 seconds for somebody to get open and Lamar has to run around and buy time? That's a big part of the problem right now.
They don't have and this is what we mean when we talk about it's a coaching thing. They don't know how to utilize the talent they have.
No.
And the first clue to that is that Keaton Mitchell is inactive every single week.
And why are we saying he's giving up? Because he shows frustration out there. Like, you wouldn't be frustrated. Lamar every year puts in the work. He takes it a step above, right, to get better, to play at a high level, and he's not getting that same effort from his coaching staff.
Jay, he said so. Both the Panthers and Ravens got clapped. Yes, Jay. They gave up combined like 80 points today. They scored a combined 33. Wasn't pretty. Yeah. Bryce got pulled at the end of the game for Andy Dalton, who promptly went on a long touchdown drive. And so everybody's like, oh, Andy Dalton need to finish the season. Like, you don't remember seeing Andy Dalton last year do this exact same song and dance. So, oh, one game, I got you. Yeah. 3 games, I was in an accident.
Yes, Juan Jose says Lamar is supposed to outrun every defender, and if no one is open, then run for 20 yards. That's exactly what people think. And what happened today? He hurt his hamstring. Was he really hurt, or did they pull him? I don't know. It felt like he wasn't actually hurt. It was a Harbaugh thing. Like, hey man, your day is done. We can't protect you. I don't have any answers out there. You see, I can't coach. The best thing I could do for you right now is keep you on the sideline and keep you safe.
I'm gonna disagree because he doesn't care about protecting Lamar Jackson. If he did,
but long term, but it's protecting him, right? Hey, I can say like I can't win this game. We're getting cooked out here, right? If I pull you out now, I can say, oh well, Lamar got hurt.
But he doesn't think there's any risk to him long term. Like it's the same thing with Ron Rivera and Cam Newton, right? Cam Newton said this a version of this on his own podcast, how he essentially won Ron Rivera Coach of the Year a couple of times, right? Like it was him, and Cam, despite his image, Cam's not a super arrogant guy when it comes to that kind of stuff, right?
No.
But Cam got hurt. And Cam was playing against the Eagles, and Cam was having an awful day, and they were getting embarrassed, and they couldn't protect him. And Ron was like, "Whatever, take them hits." Right? And I think that is, there are some coaches who have that kind of arrogance. And John Harbaugh, I mean, he invented the word arrogant. Like he created that. He's not going to come over there and sit Lamar down, especially since, hey, check this out, man. Y'all had a game when you were up 40-25 with 5 minutes left. Okay, that's 15 points, right? You were down 24 with 12 minutes left, so that's still a winnable game according to the Ravens metrics. And I don't think Lamar would sit down unless he was hurt. I don't think he would let them take him out of the game like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But no, B, he checked out. You didn't see? He checked out. But that's the thing. Lamar has to be everything for this team, man. He has to be everything for this team. If he doesn't have a great game, there is zero expectations from this defense to step up. And I see people putting Max Crosby in there saying, hey, go get Max Crosby, right? I remember when we played the Raiders last year and we were playing against what's the guy at the mullet? That always beats us.
Oh, Minshew. He got it every day too.
So Gardner Minshew was in that game. He threw an interception, and Max Crosby went up to him and was like, "Don't worry about it. We got you. We're gonna get that ball back for you." And they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did that. We don't like that. Our defense doesn't respond that way. Nobody on the defense says, "Hey, Lamar, hey, you've been carrying us these 3 weeks, and we haven't come through. This week we're coming through. It doesn't matter what happens in this game. They're not scoring touchdowns."
And that's the thing with the defense. I'll get back to that in a minute. We did get another super chat from Tone the Virgo. Thank you very much.
You.
When ownership sees the writing on the wall, ceiling has been reached with Harbaugh. Eagles fired Doug Peterson when they realized it's time for change. Broad and Sirianni, look what they accomplished. Absolutely. And that's the second time the Eagles did it, because they did it with Andy Reid too. And it worked out for both of them. Andy Reid has 3 Super Bowls since then. The Eagles have 2, right? But yeah, back to the defense. They don't have the attitude to be a great defense. We talked about this before, where Marcus Peters was really important to the Ravens defense when he was there, because he's the guy who brought that edge, who brought that attitude, who kind of brought it out of the rest of the players, right? In Carolina, it was Josh Norman. Josh Norman had that arrogance and that attitude, like, hey, we're a great defense. We're going to go out here. We're going to take the ball from you. You're not going to score on us, all this. And right now they're timid. Like Kyle Hamilton is a great player, a super talented player, right? Marlon's a super talented player. Obviously, Roquan's a very talented player, but they're all just kind of they're easy going, and it's like they're just like, hey, whatever. Nobody's angry. Nobody's playing angry. Nobody's out there, trying to hit people. Nobody's out there trying to take the ball away. Nobody's taking it personally that you suck.
Right.
We got another super chat from Network. Who has a worse team than us? Nobody.
Defense for sure.
Thank you very much. No, appreciate it.
Like even on the turnovers, because I watched after the turnovers, even like the turnovers on down, and I'm like, okay, defense is in a bad situation here, right? Mm-hmm. And it's easy to write it off, say, okay, when you put them in a bad field position, they're going to give up points, but they immediately score. Like, it's not even like they're holding them. It's like, okay, they held them for a few plays, and then they finally scored, on a 4th and goal or something like that. No, it's they got the ball at the 20, 2 plays later, touchdown.
Well, it's like the defense is saying in their heads, like, this one's not on us.
Right.
So, whatever.
But none of them are saying, I don't care if you get the ball at the 5-yard line. You're not crossing the goal line.
Right.
You might get a field goal. We'll hold you to field goals, but you're not getting touchdowns. And if you're going to be that defense, right? If you're going to be that defense that we keep talking about, if you're going to keep spending money on this defense, like we're supposed to be that type of defense, you got to have games like that. You got to have games where the defense understands it's going to be one of those games. The offense is struggling a little bit, and we're going to pick it up, and they're not going to cross this goal line.
Yeah, you want to at least, even if you fail, you want to see that attitude from them. Like Carolina today, I mean, like I said, they got their ass kicked up and down the field too, worse than Baltimore did. But there was a play, they were already getting beat down. They passed the ball to, I believe it was Hunter Henry, and he had it right on the goal line. There was one guy there, he lowered his shoulder, he ran through him, and he was getting ready to score. 3, 4, 5 other guys came and hit him and pulled him back and kept him out of the end zone. Yeah. Now, they scored eventually, right? Yeah. I think they scored on the next play or 2 plays later, but you want to see the defense fly to the ball and make those hits like they care about whether or not you score. It just doesn't seem like that in Baltimore. Awuzie watching Hollywood Brown go into the end zone late in that game, like he was escorting him in. He didn't care. He was like, whatever.
Yeah. No, there's no pride.
I don't care.
There's no pride. And again, like, I can understand if you're frustrated with the play calling from the coach, right? You feel like you're out of position on things, but there are certain things that are on you as a player, and it looks bad on all of them when I see all these missed tackles. I see guys that should have been hit in the backfield or hit 2 yards up the field, and then they breaking tackles and they're running for another 10, 15 yards. That's you, right? Like, that's not anybody. That's you, and that's you checking out. I can't trust people like that. And that tells me, at the very least, none of you are leaders. And that's the big thing on the defensive side. There aren't any leaders on that side of the ball. There's nobody to rally them together and say, listen, man, like we gotta hold here. Like you gotta wake up. Hey, you gotta make that hit. There's nobody doing that. And again, this is attributed to John Harbaugh, not like having any alphas on the team. This is EDC for backing up John Harbaugh on those moves and getting nice guys, right? I told y'all like a while back. If the first thing to say about you is he's a nice guy, he's a good guy. Can't have that guy.
Great character. And this from Kev T. I've been saying this for a while as well. Steve Bisciotti doesn't care about winning another Super Bowl. He doesn't. He's comfortable with being a competitive team, with being a playoff team, filling up the stadium, selling a bunch of merch, and losing. He doesn't care about winning another trophy.
And listen, and that's business, right? You can say, hey, you know, he's making money, that's business, but that just reminds you that you shouldn't be 100% for your team, right? Like if they're gonna go out there and put up stinkers like this, don't support them, right? Don't get too emotional about it. If this is what they're gonna give you, man, you know, next game, hey, look, you gotta show me something before I start watching again, or before I'll watch at home, but I'm not going to the game. Don't pay for that.
Right. That's
why I get so mad when certain people try to tell you how you should spend your money, right? If you don't want to show up to the stadium, you don't want to show up to a game, and people want to criticize you for not filling up the stadium, man, screw those people. Okay.
Absolutely. And if you also hate when people tell you how to spend your money, I want you to go to Cash App, $LBHTShow, and drop a donation. Let us know. Also click on that link in the chat for Streamlabs, or go to patreon.com/LBHTShow, sign up for the membership, and let us know. Nobody can tell me how to spend my money.
Or check out new merch, Fells Point Mafia, because we don't take that over there. Okay. Fells Point Mafia doesn't like people telling them how they should spend their money. All right. Shirts available at LBHTShow.com. Also, this ain't great time.
Hey, no. This is still accurate. They haven't played the Saints in Tampa yet, but they killed the Falcons.
Yes, that's true. Right. That's true. And then we got an upgraded Raven City shirt, Be More Bleeds Purple. All right. So,
You're bleeding something.
They're bleeding something.
Purple's as good as any.
The Ravens are banged up. We got to look at the injury report. A lot of people got hurt today. Ronnie Stanley was already hurt coming into the game. So it wasn't like I don't think he re-injured anything. I think it was more of they wanted to see if he could go. He couldn't really go, and they pulled him out. But this just goes back to what we're saying about the O-line and the D-line. You need depth. And they're just trying to do patchwork, especially on the O-line. They almost didn't bring back Ronnie Stanley. And if they didn't, we're completely cooked. Had they drafted Josh Simmons, like we were saying, I would have been happy with anybody that they got in that first round, gotten a guard, tackle, whatever. But Josh Simmons, we said he's available. Yes, he was hurt that last year, which is why he dropped. Coach Evans was high on him. Coach Evans thought healthy Josh Simmons is the best lineman in the draft. And we said, hey, if you draft him, he can play left or right guard immediately and slide out to left tackle at some point if we need to move on from Ronnie Stanley. We didn't get him. He ends up going to the Chiefs, and he's the starting left tackle for the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Starting left tackle for the Chiefs.
I just want to address Game Too Easy here, who's our resident Falcons fan, saying won't happen again, which is the eternal refrain of the Atlanta Falcons. Bryce Young sucks, right? Let's say Bryce Young sucks. He's not the guy. He's not the franchise quarterback. They're going to move on from him after this year. Bryce Young as a starter is 4-8 against the NFC South. 4-8 against arguably the worst division in the NFL. He is 3-1 against the Falcons. You need to stop, game. All right, take that cope somewhere else. All right.
I ended the poll. Is EDC cooking? 81% said nope. 19% said yup. 139 people voted. Appreciate that. All right, we're gonna wrap this up because we got Sunday Night Football. Who's playing tonight?
Green Bay and Dallas. It's the Michael Bowl.
Oh yeah. Go watch that.
Jerry Jones said, "Hey, if they could take them picks that they got from Green Bay and trade them for a great player, they'll do that too. Maybe they can get somebody like Michael Parsons."
I want to touch on that point too. Before we go, The reason why we don't have edge rushers right now is because, again, EDC, you have no one to blame but him. He is being cheap. The Ravens think this isn't even a business thing, right? Because it's not their money. Like the organization isn't saving money by doing this, but it's a game to them by saying we don't have to pay players out of their player pool. We don't have to pay players a bunch of money for premier positions. We can pay the lesser premier positions, zig instead, when they zag, and we can still put together a winning team. It's an experiment that they've tried out, and I don't mind you trying different things if it works. But when it doesn't work, you have to zig again, right? You have to pivot, and as long as Lamar's there to bail them out, they feel like they don't have to do it. But paying middle linebackers, paying safeties, right? Paying tight ends, those aren't premier positions. Those aren't positions that cost a lot of money. So yeah, they can make those players the highest paid at their position because they're not really spending a lot of money there. At edge rusher, the reason why we didn't trade for Micah Parsons, the reason why we're not going to trade for Max Crosby is because you have to pay them a lot of money, but they're a higher impact. They thought that they can go and draft those positions and get those guys for cheap. Owe and Mike Green are supposed to be those guys that they get that will replicate that for cheap, and they can't do it. No. Same thing with wide receiver. You don't want to pay wide receivers. You want to pay tight ends, but tight ends don't make the impact that wide receivers make.
Right.
You want to go cheap on the O-line. O-line costs money. Let's just draft guys in the third round and develop them. But now you can't block anybody. So the zigging instead of zagging. Same thing with cornerbacks. They don't actually want to play cornerbacks unless they can pick them up from off the street. They don't want to actually pay anybody that, but they'll pay safeties, right? Because hey, look what happened when we had Ed Reed. Ed Reed ain't in the league anymore, and you'll never see Ed Reed again.
No.
Right. So all this stuff, these are all bad choices that they've made, and people have been giving them praise for a long time because we won a lot of games. But now, a couple of injuries, teams are catching on to what they do, and Lamar can't put the whole team on his back. And the games that we usually win, we've lost. We're starting to see what's going on. You guys are getting really upset about things that have been going on with this team for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, got another cash. This one from my guy Saul. Thank you very much. He says, "Is the season over? If so, go New York, go New York, go." No, the season's not over, and it's
Saul, what is going on?
Never go New York. It's never go New York, and the season is not over. Baltimore's going to bounce back. They're still going to win 10 to 12 games this year, and they'll go to the playoffs, and they'll get embarrassed. And then y'all will be like, "Man, we need an O-line, we need a wide receiver, blah blah blah." And then you'll log on to Twitter, and you'll go watch Coach's channel, you'll go watch Deep Cover Pod, and you'll be like, "Man, that edge rusher does sound nice." And then by the time the draft rolls around, you'll be like, "Man, we got to go defense. We got to go defense. Lamar got enough help."
Yeah. O-line is the way to go. We have to improve the O-line. We got to. I mean, they're gonna make a trade. I'm not sure what kind of trade they'll make by trade deadline. They'll probably try to get.
Let me tell you something.
I don't know.
They ain't making no trade. The trade that they're gonna make is they're gonna trade Zach Orr for somebody else, and that's it. They ain't making no player trades. Do y'all see Lamar playing next week? My opinion as a non-doctor, yes. My opinion as someone who has not evaluated Lamar, yes. And my opinion as someone who is not actually sure what the injury is, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Ravens going to stay put and piss us off? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, but they're making moves like they're comfortable. Harbaugh and EDC, they're comfortable. They feel like there's no consequence for the moves that they make. And, the team's checked out. Saul says, always listen on the podcast, but Jose, we got room for you at MSG.
Madison Square Garden.
Nah.
Appreciate
I'm
that.
I'm gonna say at the Barclays. It's very spacious in there.
Less traffic, right?
Yeah.
Get a whole section to yourself. Honestly,
I can park right next to the court side. Okay, great parking over there. Are we still spoiled Ravens fans? That one's going to follow Colin Hamilton for a while. He'll learn from that. He'll definitely learn from that and be more selective in what he says.
Yeah.
Kefla says, "Hey guys, long time no see. What's going on?" Kefla says, "But I think season is done for Lamar. Might miss game 2 and hope garbage Harbaugh fired. You think fired mid-season garbage? I don't think Lamar's going to miss any games. Like I said, we're not doctors. We don't know, but I don't think he's going to miss any games. I think he'll be okay. And like B said, the rest of the season is looking pretty bright for this team. They have some games on the schedule that help them get right. And like I said, it's really what happens in the playoffs come around. I don't know, but at this point, 1-3, you got to take it one game at a time and get back into the mix of things. But they are down bad. And, this is the first bad game Lamar Jackson had all year. So you look at that 1-3 record, there are going to be some people out there that try to put all those losses on Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're going to put that 1-3 record on Lamar Jackson like he's the reason. Look how he played today. That's the reason why they are where they are. But they're not going to look at the score where we gave up, 37 points. We've given up 41 points. We've given up 38 points. They're not going to look at any of those and say, nasty work. Right? So that's just what it is, man. We'll see what they do, but the team is down bad. It's really on the players. The players got to have their own mutiny. They have to go off and say, hey man, we're just not putting up with this anymore. You guys are gonna have to do a better job, and some things are gonna have to shake up over there. That's just what it's gonna have to be.
All right.
Look, that's it for tonight. Come back on Wednesday night. Look, there's still 150 people in here, man. You guys were mad. You were angry today. We hit a record. In the chat, 300. Really appreciate y'all. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Share this with your friends and loved ones. Share it out. Okay? Anybody, if you see any of these people on social media, these are the Harbaugh EDC defenders right here. Okay? Those are the gatekeepers. Those are the protectors. If you see any of them, talking that nonsense of, oh, no, EDC is doing a great job. Harbaugh's doing a great job. It's Lamar's fault. Send them off. Right, just send a link to the show and we'll get them straight. All right. But come back Wednesday night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time for the LBHT show. We'll be talking some Ravens and we'll get to the Panthers. Don't you worry about that. We'll get to the Panthers. And look, any other top sports news going on, we'll discuss that as well. Also,
not baseball.
Not baseball, unless there's a scandal.
Well, no. I did want to that was a joke, but I did want to say shout out to Coach whose Mets had the best record in baseball on June 12th and who just missed the playoffs.
I knew you would do that. I knew you was going to do that. Also, patreon.com/LBHTShow. In fact, I need to pull that up. Patreon.com/LBHTShow for our visual people in here. There you go. That we have the overtime show that happens right after the main show on Wednesday. Lots of fun. We talk about anything and everything. We've been having a lot of deep discussions on the overtime show recently, and well worth the price of admission for as little as $5 a month. $5 a month will get you access to the overtime show and get you access to our Discord channel. All right. And look, even if you don't stay a member, you decide to cancel it later on, stay in the Discord. We don't kick anybody out. We're building a community over there. All right.
I love this. I love this from Swin. Bills gave up 40 points in one. Yeah, well, their defense forced a turnover, didn't they?
Yeah, how many turnovers do we have? How many turnovers have we forced this whole season? 2, I believe.
Both against Sir Flacco.
Yep. The fumble return for a touchdown.
He is a generous dude. He's a very generous dude. I'll give him that.
In 4 games, we've had 2 turnovers, and they all came in the Cleveland game. Yeah. So there it is. All right, go watch some good football. Okay, don't end your night on that terrible game. Go watch some good football tonight. I mean, it'll be bad for one team probably, but it won't be your team at least. All right, B, you ready? You want to end it?
Ready.
He is ready. Y'all have a great night. All right. Go read a book. Go watch something funny. Get this bad taste out your mouth. All right. Come back here on Wednesday, and we'll talk about the upcoming week, and we'll see how we can get back on the right track. But that's it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time. Peace.